Hello, welcome to Jillian's house. I'm in my art room today. The reason why is because I have this big old frame here that I'm going to have to distress today. I made a painting and I want it to go on my fireplace. So what I'm going to do here with this thing here is I'm going to do some staining on it, and then I'm going to like kind of distress some white on it to give it like that pickled look today. So what you're going to need for this project is you're going to need some white flat paint. I like the flat paint. I think the flat paint is always better than the gloss and stuff when you're doing distressing. Don't use any of the gloss. Always use flat paint. So I got white flat paint here. I got some of this gray. It's called weathered gray. I love the weathered gray look. And this is a sun bleached, which it gives it more of a sandstone look. So what I do, and then you're going to need a candle. And you're going to need a brush, a dry brush, pair of gloves, a paint stirrer. And what I do is I like to take, like I save like old towels, cut them up, socks or anything like that to use for your stains. So anything that you can, old shirt, whatever. And you're going to need a pair of scissors and some paper towel. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing I want to do is I want to put my gloves on. Because this stuff, if it gets on your hands, guys, it's really hard to get off. Mineral spirits works really well too. So if you get it on your hands, just get you some mineral spirits. And so the first thing I want to do is I want to get my stain, which I'm going to do this sand. This sand is called sand bleached. So I'm going to get this. And I'm just going to kind of start just like rubbing it all over this picture frame. See the picture frame? Let me get it here. I'm just going to start rubbing it. Okay, you want to go with the grain. Do not go against the grain with stains. Stains, you don't want to go against it. You just kind of like, or you can kind of like roll it in there. It don't matter. But just kind of like work it around. You don't have to cover all the white because you're trying to make it look more of a distress. So you're just going to keep working it around. I like these little nail holes. This is actually a pallet that my son got for work, and my husband built me this frame out of this pallet wood, which I just love. So it gives it a little bit more distressed look, which I really like about it. So, and I think all the nail holes gives it a little character, you know. But anyway, let's get it. Make sure you get your sides. Got to get your sides done. So you just don't want to really just cover it, you know. And you want to rub it, like when you're putting it on here, rub it. You know, kind of get it in there. But leave like, you don't want to cover the whole thing. See how I got like the wood showing? You just kind of like want to hit it in places, you know. So make sure you get your corners done. So we're going to do this all the way around. And make sure you got some old clothes on. Because this stuff gets on your clothes, you can't get it out, it just makes a mess, so wear you some old clothes. So I'm just working this around. This is going to be my first little, get this all in here. Don't take long at all, guys. Once you get your stuff together and you start going, you'll be done in no time. But like I said, just make sure you get you some old clothes on because it is messy and you will get it on you. And you really can't get this stuff out of your clothes. So let's get this all around here. And I really don't have a method of how I do stuff. I just do things that feels right to me. Don't go by what everybody says, you know. You just do your own thing. You know, I mean, that's how you come up with all this stuff. You know, you just do something, you like it. That's what makes it. You know, it don't have to be like somebody else's. So just rub all this stuff on there. Let's get it all worked in. Get a little bit darker here. Okay, get it on the back side. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that gray And I'm going to mix it on this stain, the sandstone. Get this all mixed in. Rub it. Like I said, make sure you rub it. Make sure you do your sides. I have my dogs in here with me because they're little babies. They can't be left alone. If they are, they'll just start barking. But anyway, let's see. Let's get some of the inside because this is going to be like, you know where your picture's going. So you want to make sure you get everything kind of stained. You know, just a light, get a little bit more over here because I see it's a little bit lighter than what I want. I want a little bit darker than that. So this is what it looks like so far. Well, my paper towel, my towel is kind of rolled over. So I got all these little cotton fuzzes on here. It's no big deal, just roll it off. Okay, now I'm gonna let this dry for like a minute. And then what I wanna do is I wanna take this gray, this weathered gray, get my little towel. And what I want to do is I just want to find little spots that I want it to make it a little darker. So like here, I want to go by the nail holes. So I'm going to, get me some more in here. Like the nail. I'll randomly put this. I'm just going to randomly just kind of like roll it, just rub it here and there. No specific place, just rub it. Like I want some right here. So I'm going to rub right there. I want some right here. I'm going to rub it on here. Then I'm going to come around. I'm going to roll some over here. I use this stuff so much. I don't have a lot of it left. I need to go buy some more. Anyway, just kind of like randomly just put it wherever you feel like you might want some. I want it a little darker there. Throw it in there. See how, like I want it a little darker here. So I'm putting some here. Let's see, around this nail hole. I really want that nail hole to kind of stand out. So I'm going to kind of like, so see what it looks like so far? So now you got like this weathered look with a stain. So you got like the white with the gray coming through. So now what I'm going to do, make sure you get all this cleaned off. Take your brush and kind of like wipe it off. Because we don't want none of this cotton or anything like that on there. Make sure you be careful because you'll get splinters. So just wipe it down. Let it sit for a minute. Kind of like let it kind of get a little dry. And then we're going to take our paint. Yeah, see what I did with my gloves? I ripped them. So you got to be real careful. So I'm sorry, not my paint. I'm going to take my candle. Just a regular 59-cent candle at Walmart. It don't matter, Dollar Tree, wherever you can get one. These little bitty candles, just like this, whatever kind of candle you can get. And so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna take it, and I want some like right there. Put it right here. Just find little places you wanna put your candle. Just kind of like roll it around, put it wherever. You know, it don't have to be perfect. That's the idea of it. You don't want it perfect. So just kind of rub it. But make sure you kind of go with the grain. Don't go against the grain. Go with the grain. So let me get on this side. So we're just going to put it random places all over. Get those corners really good. Let's see that? Okay. Now that I got my candle done, now I'm going to take my brush. And this is where it comes in. You want to barely touch your paint. You don't want a lot of paint on your brush at all. Take it and dab it in your paper towel. You don't want to paint against, there you go, with the grain. Don't paint against the grain. Go up and down. See what I'm talking about? Barely get your paint on your brush. And you're just going to touch it in certain areas. You don't want to cover the whole thing. And if it gets a little dark in some spots, kind of rub it down. You don't want it that dark because we're going to pickle. So you don't want it dark. So just randomly stick your little white wherever you want that white to come through at. And just randomly do this all the way around. And then, see, I got a little heavy there. I don't like that. I don't want that heavy feel. So I'm gonna rub it in. Rub it in. And then that'll break it up. But I like that little color, how it comes through on that corner. It gives it a little bit more of a pop to it. So let me see if you can see what I'm talking about here. So I'm just randomly putting the white on it, see me? Then I'm gonna rub it in. And you want little areas with more white on it. And you want your grays to come through. So you don't want to cover the whole thing. So I want some white over here in the corner. So I'm gonna really work on my corners because I want that little pop in my corners. See, now can you see what it looks like? See how that shading's coming around? And you just kind of like dry brush it in. Don't use a wet brush. Make sure you have your dry brush. If you get too much on there, take your paper towel and just blot it. So same thing again. You can see it. Get that little white going there. Oh, I like this. I like the way this is turning out. This is really pretty. This is going to look really good. I like this look. And look, these palettes were free, so it really didn't cost anything to do this. So once I get all this done, then I'll show you my picture that I have to go in here. And that's it. This is all you do. And then let it dry. You know, because this is going to be inside, so you don't have to seal it or anything. Now, if you were going to do something for outside, then I would recommend doing a seal on it, but not for, you know, inside. You don't have to do any of that. And this is what almost a finished product is. And this is what you call a dry brush with a stain. And then if you want it darker, you can get a darker, like an oat stain or something, and you can run over after you get this painted. Take that dark stain, and you can put it over it like in the corners and stuff with your candle, and it's gonna give it more of a deeper, darker with some white pulling through. So that's really pretty too. I've done a lot of projects like that. So this is about it, y'all. And I'm really liking the way this is coming out, the way this wood is looking. So, almost done with the finished product. And this is gonna go nicely over my fireplace from my painting that I just finished. And this is it, guys. Real quick and simple. Look at that. That's what that looks like. That's what it looks like. Okay, now I'm gonna get my picture. Okay guys, this is the finished product. Here you go. And the reason I put the wax on there earlier, you know, when I told you to put the wax on there, the reason I did that is because when I put my paint over my stain, that paint is not going to stick. So it's going to leave little openings to bring my color out. See the wood grain here? I have candle here. So you can see where I put the candle, and then I put the paint over it. So it gives it that kind of like that distressed look. But this is it. I really like the way this turned out. It's a nice, pickled, distressed, weathered look. And this is my painting that I painted a while back. Thank you, and I'll post my video.